Hi everybody, I'm Jeff with Virginia Paranormal Investigations, and tonight we're down here in Newark, Delaware, and right now we're heading down Main Street to get on 896, where we're going to go up just across the PA line to a place called London Tract Road. Now down London Tract Road lies the graveyard with the famous ticking tomb. The story behind this ticking tomb is that it ticks. People have heard it ticking. They've speculated that it's an underground water source, underground stream that may be going through the tomb, causing the ticking sound like a dripping water. The legend behind it states that back in the 1760s, I believe, when Mason and Dixon were up there surveying for their famous Mason-Dixon line, a local boy had swallowed Mason's pocket watch, and the watch was ticking in his stomach. The boy died from it, and I guess Mason wanted the watch surgically removed after the boy died, but they wouldn't do it, so they buried him with the pocket watch still in his stomach. And to this day, you're supposed to hear this pocket watch ticking away. Now this legend became so widespread that supposedly the famous Edgar Allan Poe caught wind of this ticking tomb, and he came all the way up here to check it out. Now supposedly he stayed at the Deer Park Tavern, which is right down here at the end of Main Street. He spent the night there, and he went out to investigate this tomb, which is either at or near a heart-shaped tombstone. And legend has it that this is where Edgar Allan Poe got his inspiration to write The Telltale Heart. So we're going to go up there tonight. I don't know how good of a look we're going to get. It's raining out, it's drizzling. It's a pretty wet night. But we're going to see what it looks like up there. I don't know if we'll actually be able to go into the cemetery and look for this tomb, but if nothing else, we'll see if we can get some EVP sessions from the outside of it, see if we can pick anything up. We read a book about haunted places in Brandywine that also mentioned this location, and supposedly the author got a pretty good EVP up there, so we'll see what happens. So we're driving down London Tract Road, and as you can see, from what you can see in the video, it's a pretty creepy road. There are some houses along it, but it's still another one of those typical Brandywine Valley type roads. Not that we're necessarily in the Brandywine Valley. I'm not sure if we are or not, but it's a very windy, dark back road. You know, trees are extra tall out here. You know, they just seem to kind of stand still in the darkness. There's no leaves on them, which gives them that kind of creepy, Halloweenish effect, if you would. But we're about to turn into the little area where the cemetery is. Alright, so we're walking up to the cemetery now. And what we're going to do first is I want to point out this little block over here. This is still sitting here from way back in the 1700s, I believe. And what this was a mounting block. People would climb up on this to get onto their horses. It's a pretty cool little thing to point out. Here's some engines off in the distance. Alright, let's go. Okay, so here we are, right here. We got the heart-shaped tomb. And this is the tomb that's supposed to tick. I'm going to start this recorder. There's a flat one here, too.
They said it's just got a couple of initials on it.
Just a couple of initials? Alright. Let's see if that recorder maybe picks up the ticking. There's no reports of ghosts that I've heard. But there is the ticking, and that's what we're trying to pick up. Don't hear anything on that one. Now the recorder may be a little more sensitive than my ears, of course. And of course, if anyone comes by, I'm going to look crazy putting my ear up to tombstones. But nonetheless, I don't hear any ticking. Let's leave that recording for a second and just walk up this way a little bit and see if there's anything else that resembles a heart. So we walked around the cemetery a little bit. It's a very small cemetery. There's nothing else that we saw that resembles a heart. We're going to go back here. This is a very impressive cemetery. I mean, it's very old. Perfect night to be out here, aside from the rain. We're going to get this recorder, and we're going to review this just to see if we picked anything up.
We didn't really hear any ticking coming from the tomb. But we did put the EVP recorder down there to see what we could hear. We'll have to, of course, take that back to the desk where we have our computer, amplify it, and see what we can hear out of that. But it was definitely a very creepy little graveyard. Not a whole lot of tombstones, not a whole lot of burials in there, but creepy nonetheless. Perhaps made more creepy by the fact that it's cold and it's dark and it's a little bit damp out tonight. It would definitely be worth coming back a second time to see if we could hear something at a later date, perhaps under different weather conditions.
I have to say, I love places like this. It's just, it's a creepy road to get there. It's a creepy place when you're there. It's one of those places that does kind of, make your hair stand a little on edge. There's definitely scarier places. I definitely would spend the night here before some other places that I've been to. However, it is just an ideal place. You come down here, you got the mist in the air, this old graveyard up on the hill to the side there. Now, I didn't hear the ticking. I did put the recorder down there. I reviewed the recorder on the go. Of course, we need to do, like Linda said, a more in-depth review of this recording to see if it picked up anything. If we didn't get a ticking, maybe we picked up a voice or something like that. I don't know if we were in there long enough for such to happen, but you never know. So we definitely have to review that a little more in depth. It's definitely a place I'd like to come back to in the daylight. Do a little more looking around just to see what we can see and to see what it looks like in daylight. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary ticking tomb.